So the goal for today's hunt is quite straightforward. We have Rocky currently at level 29 and 90% of the way to level 30. Now that might seem like we're basically 1 kill away, but it takes quite a long time towards the maximum level. But I want to get him to level 30, and I think we are going to go for the Brave trait. And once we've gotten there, I want to see if we can get Cape Buffalo to charge us and see if he can maybe ward off those attacks, because those are the ones that I would actually really want that trait for. And it does seem like since they bark at like Water Buffalo and Cape Buffalo, potentially that could be a thing. So as we are trying to level them up, we're going to go and hunt lions a little bit and see if we can get anything good during our lion grind. And once we get there, we'll see if we can get anything for Cape Buffalo. And of course the first lion is pretty well hidden, but hopefully when he stands back up from drinking we can get a shot in there with the 300. And the nice thing is, we are of course using the Bloodhounds, although accidental heart shots kind of eliminate the need for tracking, but we definitely wouldn't need to spend like as much time really looking for blood, because the lions always do run pretty far, but minus the times where we drop them, I think that's going to be quite nice to have the Bloodhound along with us. And of course, as we're doing this, we definitely want to make sure Rocky is going to be finding the lions every time. Actually a pretty good size level 7, not a bad way to start. We'll praise Rocky and probably give him a treat for that. It does seem like actually at these higher levels that that's more important, because it seems to gain a little more like XP because it is towards the bond trait, not the tracking one. That's got us to 93%. I'm actually surprised it jumped up that much, but it might slow down a little bit for the next one. And while they might not be the most interesting, 2 female lions is pretty much the ideal spawn here, because we still want to get that albino female at some point. That is going to be 1 drop shot, and usually they stand around. We'll see if we can maybe double up there. Not too bad, starting out with 3 hard shots, and of course an aggressive warthog going after, I think, nothing. I don't really know what that's going to make it do, because we killed it. Guess it's just going to walk around, but honestly I've never seen that. Since we're in a tripod and we're not adding extra hunting pressure, we might as well just hit him as well. Still says aggressive too, which is kind of interesting. We probably spent like close to 3 hours earlier with Rocky hunting fallow deer, just to kind of get him to this point where he's almost ready to level up. And he wasn't gaining XP nearly as fast as he is now, because we're currently at 95%. I don't know if he's going to gain any going to the warthog here, but it could depend on the animal. There might be something to that actually. Maybe he gains a little more tracking lions, because you do gain more XP as the hunter when you're taking a lion versus like a warthog or anything, so that may be something actually worth experimenting with. But I think he should be barking that he found this in just a moment. And actually, not bad that we got a gold out of that since he was turning. So let's praise Rocky again. I do want to look at this, still 95%. If we go to track, he's still sitting there at 95, so I really don't know how some of that stuff works, but like I said, it does seem to take some time at this like higher level. But that, as far as I'm concerned, is a good thing, because that's going to give us the opportunity to take out more lions on this albino female grind. So if not for some fleeing jackals, I don't know that I would have been aware there was a lion in here. But really zoomed in with the scope, it's tough to tell. The nice thing is, like I said earlier, we have the Bloodhound, so if we don't make a great shot here, we should be able to track it down. But we're going to try to get something there without a spotting outline. That should be roughly center chest, actually. Stay from the skull and hit it again just to be sure. And it is going to bring that one down. It's interesting to see how this goes, because he tries to like bark to let us know that he found it, but he's also got the growling, so it kind of cuts it off. It looks a little bit weird, but the sounds don't overlap, which is nice. We did get lungs both times, so not too bad there. And that's got us to 98%, so we may even give him a treat to try to get to 99% and make the next one get us to 100. And again, sometimes it seems like he doesn't actually gain any, so we'll have to see. But that's got us still sitting at 98. We'll see what one more lion does, hopefully. And it might not be the most interesting lion, just a little level 5 male. But we'll take him out too. As we're doing our grind for an albino female one, I definitely wouldn't mind more rare males. We've had a couple of them now, but none have been albino. I think they've been both dark brown, actually. I don't know that either of the blondes that we got were in single player, but anyway, that may get us to 100% there. In fact, I think it probably will, because we're sitting at 99% now on the companion side of things, and you do gain a bit of companion XP just by being with your dog, so it makes sense that we're getting a bit as we go along here. I thought there was another one over there based on the track, so just because it's something we're doing, We'll wait till he stands back up and then get him as well. Level 7s are guaranteed to be gold, so might as well get that when we get the chance. And then our lion's laying right there. If we set Rocky on the track, that is going to level him up to 30. And I'm curious what this does, because the tracker side was kind of bugged, and it's sitting there at 16, level 16, 0%. I wonder if setting him on another track is going to go to 31, 0%. We'll see that in a moment, but we are going to give him the Brave trait. That's going to give him a chance to ward off predator attacks. And once we go and claim our level 7, and whatever that just was, hopefully, we'll see what that does for that trait. I don't know why he's just calm walking. We'll make sure we give Rocky something else to track. But we have our level 5 here, obviously just a silver. And like I said, I wanted to kind of watch this and just make sure. Still sitting at level 30, 100%, so hopefully that just stays there like that. And hopefully there's no other bugs with the companion one, because I don't know that there's been very many dogs that reached the max level there just yet to know if there were any issues, but fingers crossed that there aren't any. I don't even know what lion this might be. I think it's the 5, and it is. So we'll set him on the track for the 7 just in case it's doing anything for us at all. I'm really not sure at this point that there is any reason to make sure he tracks every single animal, but since we're here and doing that, I figured it was worth checking on the companion XP every time. But that is our second gold level 7 lion. And now we're going to go and test with Cape Buffalo. So we'll go up here and change the time. And the hope is, once we can get a Cape Buffalo to go aggressive, hopefully Rocky can kind of ward off that attack, because I'm really not that interested in him warding off wolves. Like, usually I do want to take those out for respawns, whereas the Cape Buffalo, sometimes I just want to kind of ignore them and get them out of the way. So we'll see what he does for us. So we do have an aggressive Cape Buffalo. I'm curious to see if Rocky will do anything at all. And I'm curious to see if we like let the Cape Buffalo charge us for a while, if that changes things, because he should actually bark at it. He does with Water Buffalo and stuff, but right now he's kind of just walking around. I've got the Hawk Edge bow, because I thought maybe if he would have like a different sound than what we've heard, it might be best to have like a quiet weapon, but so far he's kind of not doing anything with this one, so it could just be, like I said, it's a chance to ward off predator attacks, so maybe he's just not hitting that chance for this particular one. That was probably lucky. Pretty sure we would have died if we didn't make that shot, but got him straight in through the brain. We'll kind of heal up and go and try that again. Ooh, that is no doubt a Bighorn's level 9 Cape Buffalo. That is definitely what that is. There's no mistaking that set of horns. So here's the thing. I wanted to go for a different strategy and just run up there and see if any would go aggressive. And I grabbed the 470, of course, because I thought there's a good chance like 5 or 6 of them might, and I figured that would be a good way to bring them down, but it's definitely not a good way to try to get a giant Diamond Cape Buffalo, so I'm not sure how we're going to do this. We've tried to take one with a bow from there before, and I feel like it wasn't too bad to stock it into like 100 meters, so maybe that's going to be the goal. We're going to mark where he is. This has definitely taken a bit of a turn from the original plan, but maybe we can get within decent 470 range of that. Okay, that is not a sound I wanted to hear. It's a male as well, which definitely could mean that it's our level 9, but it's so hard to say because so many Cape Buffalo use this feed zone. The ones to the left don't look too pleased either. Alright, we'll probably have to make a decision quick here, if our level 9 is even visible, because I don't immediately see him. It could have been that he moved back. I hear Rocky barking, which is good. Oh, he's barking kind of differently. I wonder if he's going to actually ward one of these off, and we're going to have to figure out where our level 9 got to, because clearly he just fled without making any sound. But it may be worth sitting here and seeing what Rocky does for a moment anyway, because that one actually fled. Let's see if any of these other ones will go aggressive for us. Unfortunately, they all kind of just fled on us, so we didn't get to see more of the Brave trait, but I swear that was a bark I hadn't heard before, and it's so hard to say, because we were in the tripod and that could have kind of thrown things off, but he could have very well been the reason the level 5 fled on us. But now the more important thing is figuring out where level 9 got to, because there's 2 different directions they'll run from up here, and not only did we not get to see what direction he ran, we kind of spotted a level 3 trying to figure out where he was, And now I don't have a clue which track this is. I do know he was the black fur type and not a gray fur type. So if we can get a max weight estimate track that matches the fur type, at least we could kind of start there. So this is kind of interesting. Rocky does not want to come over here no matter what I do. Like, I can try to call him, and he still just sits there. Now we're sitting in this tripod, and eventually the Cape Buffalo will flee normally if you do that. But I was curious to see what would happen when he started doing that. I do kind of have to wonder if he's the reason that the female left, but this one's still aggressive. I think for the sake of kind of moving on here, we're going to try to get it with the 300. In pretty much any other scenario, I probably would have stuck with the 470, but there's still testing yet to do with the Brave trait, and I wanted to just hopefully get the level 9 down and continue testing that probably on wolves, but I couldn't get the legendary in view, so I'm hoping that once we get away from this level 7 for a minute, we can go down and figure out where he got to this time. So I cannot believe it's still running around. I guess we didn't get it as well as I thought, but that'll drop it. And like I said, hopefully we can go and get eyes on our level 9 now, because this guy is just going to be a completely messed up gold at this point. And this time with a little more of a planned out approach, we can actually locate where he ran to. So what I'd like to do is alert him, just so we don't end up with like a weird intention shot or anything. So he is actually alarmed straight away. That's a little worrying. But I'm pretty confident that's going to drop into a lung, and he is starting to go down. So after way too long, we finally got a bullet into his lungs, and as far as I know, that's a guaranteed diamond. I mean, there shouldn't be any way that could be messed up. And he actually did have a really high estimate, which I think we shot one other Bighorn's diamond cape that had a high estimate as well, and it ended up scoring pretty low, but I've always wanted a 160 plus cape, and this guy definitely has a chance at it. Let's praise Rocky super quick for finding him. And this guy is a 161 actually, so 162.5 is the max. Pretty cool to finally top 160 on one of them, especially on one that we had to work for that hard. Let's taxonomize him straight away so we don't lose him. We're a little behind the heart there. Probably better that than in front of the heart and risking missing the lungs. But yeah, about 10 above diamond, that is our personal best Cape Buffalo, and one that's just respawned well after our Cape Buffalo grind. We spent a lot of time, probably like 6 months ago or more, trying to get a Bighorn's diamond Cape Buffalo to spawn to take with a bow, and after all that, we kind of just slowed down with it. And of course now we actually got a good one, but let's head over to Yukon then. We'll see if we can maybe get a little more out of that Brave trait with the wolves, just because it didn't seem like he was doing a whole lot with the Cape Buffalo, other than up there at the top, kind of as we just spooked him, but I really couldn't tell what that was. So it took a little longer than I was hoping for, but we got a pack of wolves to go aggressive. It says Rocky's in the critical position, which is usually kind of letting you know that you're about to spook something. Kind of odd that he would be doing that with a pack of wolves going aggressive on us, but let's see if he'll do anything. Maybe that critical position means he is going to try to defend us from this. I'm just curious to see what he does, so we'll sort of back away. We'll just have the M1 ready, and what I'd like to do is at least stand here and give him a chance. But once the wolves start to get a little bit closer, if he doesn't do anything, we'll probably just go ahead and try to take them out. He's barking at them, but I mean, it'll be pretty obvious when they stop going aggressive if they just turn and flee. Right now, he's kind of just doing his thing walking around. That's similar to the animation I saw, though, with the Cape Buffalo, which I thought may have been the Brave trait activating, but seems to me that he is not going to be chasing them away, so we better start to take some shots here. Although, as soon as we shot, like, one there, they all took off, so it's hard to say. There's not much of a good reason for them to flee, other than maybe that we stood around for so long. I really don't know, but that's quite a few cases where we didn't really see much at all out of that Brave trait. So maybe we can get another chance at seeing this. This wolf's going to come straight for us and actually hit us. And then usually they stop. Rocky's doing the same kind of thing, which I had never seen before. Like, there's a little more of an aggressive kind of bark, but there's not much else going on there other than him just pushing the wolf around. She's still aggressive and everything, not like going to flee. And Rocky's just chilling, so... Well, see, the thing is, it's so hard to tell what actually causes it. Because the fact that we're right by the water, you can hide in the water and wolves actually, like, can't reach you. And then they do turn and flee, so it's so hard to know. Like, maybe we were just enough between the water that that made her flee, Maybe it was Rocky, or maybe it was just the fact that she stood there long enough and just kind of gave up. That was not the best shot, but we are trying to get an albino female wolf, so we might as well get the respawns where we can. And honestly, at this point, I think we'll probably wrap up trying to test the Brave trait. And I know we'll definitely do more in the future and try to figure out exactly like what works and what doesn't. But it's definitely not the type of thing where I'd say you can rely on it. I think it's just something where maybe every now and then he'll help you out and kind of save you from getting taken out by a pack of wolves or something. But like I said, we'll kind of have to see as we test it in the future. So we definitely did not hit her well. The nice thing is, even if he's not going to ward off the attack, at the very least he can help us find it. And we kind of got the best of both worlds there, being able to get the wolf for the respawn and see it actually flee. Whether that was because of Rocky or not, we still don't know, but like I said, we'll look at that more in the future going forward, because we're going to have Rocky by our side regardless, and eventually we'll get to see that in action if that's not exactly what we saw right there. I really don't know. I'd love if there was like some kind of animation or indication that that trait took over, and maybe there is and we just didn't get to see it, but we do have a trip to the trophy lodge to make, because in a video where really it wouldn't have mattered if we found anything at all, it was all about testing that trait, we managed to take our biggest Cape Buffalo ever, and for once a pretty easy choice as to what we are actually replacing. So there was just like a smaller horns Diamond Cape Buffalo up top here, and I actually like what we have going on. So there's the brown Diamond Cape Buffalo, now we have the bigger horns across from them, and then two different fur types for Diamond Plains Bison, kind of opposite either side there. So it's kind of neat to have the variation just all in that area. Then of course by the multi-mount with the albino Cape Buffalo as well. But yeah, good to get Rocky to the max level. Like I said, I definitely want to test more of that going forward and just kind of see what all that trait has to offer. Because if there's not that much, it may be worth going for the Master Tracker instead, and eventually we will get another Bloodhound and test that as well. But it was nice to get out there, bring Rocky out for a hunt, and actually get a really nice Diamond Cape Buffalo in the process. But anyway, I think that is going to do it for this video, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.